Today we're headed out for a 3-day trip to the new homestead property. We got high hopes of making a ton of progress, so hopefully we can get that tiny home built and delivered soon. I promise you, every time I come out here, the first half of the day is just setting up camp for staying. And right here, I'm working on the bathroom. We're just setting up a little platform so it's a little bit easier when you put a bucket there to use the bathroom in, as well as something small to hold the trash and toilet paper. Yeah, I'd face the door out this way.
What?
The way you're facing it, that's the way I'd face the door too.
That's what I was thinking. So, like, how would Dave face it? So I don't have to replace it.
And that, yeah, I'm trying to set the walk-up side more on this side anyways.
Over here?
Yeah. You can put your trash can and stuff on the other side.
A little more uneven. Sorry.
Use those. I don't know where a hammer's at right off the top of my head.
I seen one earlier.
I know we got one in the back of the truck in the tool box.
What they were missing out here is an inflatable hot tub.
And then Joey took the stakes to stake all 4 corners down because it got pretty windy out there, up to 15 to 20 miles per hour every single day by 9 a.m., which is why we put off the barn till last. All right, so all morning long I've been working on setting up our kitchen. So in here we have some of our dishes, our pots and pans, all of our different dry foods, other dry foods, and we're about to set up our camp shower. So this will lay out in the sun all day to warm up, and we're going to fill that up real quick from this 5-gallon reservoir. I got our camp shower full and then laid out on the trailer on a towel. I brought this little Dutch oven as well to work as a double broiler for chicken soup or chili that I had pre-made at the house to bring. I actually need to pressure can those today. So I went ahead and filled this up and got this ready to stick out on the campfire. And the entire time I worked, little Finn back there, he was so curious. I'm telling you, he was lonely. I got the Dutch oven on the campfire and let that work as a double broiler. As soon as it got to boiling, we went ahead and stuck our chili in it. I was showing here we had the generator running so we could charge our phones and a light, which made cooking a lot easier. Your pant's about to catch on fire.
It's alright.
No, really. After that man almost burnt himself, we got the double broiler off and put our chili down in there. Now, these plastic bowls I normally wouldn't use, but they are microwavable and dishwasher safe, so they could be used in a double broiler. But I wouldn't leave it directly over at the fire. I did want to make fried cornbread, but Joey said he'd go ahead with the Fritos. And after this, we just watched the night sky because for once we could look up and not see any city lights and just appreciate the stars, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, the moon. Because it's the simple things, the little things like this that we honestly, truly crave. Then it was time for bed because we are early birds. If you can't tell, both of us are too sissy to sit outside this morning. How cold do you think it is?
I would probably say close to about 31, 32.
What'd you say earlier? -30?
Yeah, it's -30.
Yeah. This first trip to the bathroom. Do you see all that? That is frost. A lot of our coals had burned out through the night due to the wind being up so high, so I took the mattress pump, the air mattress pump, and just went at it. Plugged her into the generator, and then woof, we had the fire going. It was a good hefty frost that we got there. I was a bit shocked myself. I'm really glad that we went ahead and covered everything up that night with a tarp just in case, but look at the top of the trash can. Yeah. No wonder Finn finally decided that it was probably smarter to sleep with us two. And we put some hand warmers in his little blanket. The next day, we went ahead and got started on the front of the barn. All of this overgrowth was just too much. That one tree back off on the other side is completely into the barn, grown in it. And this front one needs some care. It's a persimmon tree. We have all these funky, dirty old mattresses that need to be pulled out. Loads and loads of furniture that's been just destroyed by rats. And I don't know. Y'all, it's kind of creepy. It's like somebody left in a hurry. All right, guys. So we have the pre-made pancake mix. Pre-made as in I made it at home, which is just all-purpose flour, some baking powder, a little bit of sugar and salt. I brought the buttermilk, some eggs from the coop, and some vanilla extract. I do have some of my own going right now, but it's not ready yet. You know, it's been a while since I cooked like this, either at a camp or just straight up over an open campfire. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably my favorite and I do miss it. I did have to use this little propane camp stove a little bit more than I wanted to this time due to that wind being up so high, but the last day I was able to cook on the open fire, which is great. These pancakes turned out perfect. That, or we were just kind of starving maybe. I don't know, but we worked our butts off. For me being 38 and Joey being 32, we don't ever realize that age is starting to be a factor, and my knees hurt the entire time. They've actually been hurting a lot the last couple of months. I just hadn't commented on it. I don't want to seem like a sissy, which I'm not a sissy. I mean, I'm aging. I'm just going to have to accept it's a part of it. After we got breakfast done, I went ahead and started on our dinner for that night because it was all going to be slow cooked. 1-inch pork steaks that we were going to smoke. And then I'm also going to do a big pot of 15 bean soup. I wanted to do fried potatoes, but we ran out of time, so I just ended up doing our fried cornbread that night. I went ahead and seared these 1-inch pork chops, or better yet, pork steaks, with my own barbecue seasoning that I had brought. And the plan is, once I get these seared real good on all sides, we're going to throw it in some aluminum foil, wrap it up real good, and stick it over the campfire for the next several hours at a really low temp alongside that 15 bean soup. While I prepped all of this, Joey was finishing in front of the barn. Basically, our biggest goals for this trip was to clear out the tree that Joey had cut down, stack wood for us every time we come, clean in front of the barn and inside the barn, in preparation to get all that stuff separated so we could take it to the landfill. Right here, I'm just showing you where I've been soaking my beans after washing them. I took the cast iron Dutch oven over here to the campfire to pre-season it basically with some bacon, onion, garlic, and jalapeno pepper. And just a little bit of tallow grease to go alongside that bacon grease. And then I added the distilled water and beans that had been pre-soaking. Alongside the sauce packet that actually comes with the 15 bean soup, I add that and I also add in my own seasoning blend. I mean, you can't have too much flavor. I checked on these one last time before I headed over to help Joey out, and they weren't quite boiling yet, so I went ahead and added a few more coals. We got over to the barn and really started making some progress, pulling mattresses out to make sure there wasn't any critters, separating metals, plastic, household trash, just doing the works. We waited till the end of the day again to get in that barn because it was so windy and we knew we were going to have to spend most of our last day in that barn. It got dark on us quick, so I went ahead to head over to the camp to make our fried cornbread. Pre-mixed this before I came, brought our eggs and buttermilk to do the same as I did with the pancake mix. This just makes things a lot easier with storage and traveling with it, and helps kind of keep bugs out. But I will tell you, since it was so cold, that helped a ton. Because in my little Vivor camp kitchen set that you see here, it has little fabric built-in shelves. I kept our honey as well as our maple syrup in there for the pancakes. Not a single bug got in it. Once I got all of this mixed up, I went ahead and fried up our cornbread so we could finally eat and get to bed. And this was actually so freaking good that Joey and I decided that we're going to recreate this entire meal again here on our rental homestead in the city, straight up over a campfire. So we're on our last day out here, and I wanted to give you guys a tour and answer a ton of questions. So first and foremost, where we're sitting at now used to be where the old house was, facing Abbott Mountain. Right there to the front, right there is the well pump. Right over here is where we sit shop at, because this is where the new tiny home will be, facing east. There's a water spigot there. That looks to be maybe the old power pole there. We have another one that's right over there with I think it has two 110 on there, so maybe 220. We have a water spigot right out there, but lines have been, I think, kind of bulldozed over right there. All right, and then there's one off in the cane that way. And then let's walk out here. I'll get over here in this directional point because our septic lines actually run right out here. So you got the septic tank. Come here, baby. Right here, and it's been pumped. Hey, come here. The distribution box and the field lines run out that way. That was the reason for us taking out those trees, which I really didn't want to have to do, but it's needed. So yesterday we cleaned all out in front of the barn. There's tons of old fencing out here. This is a whole unit. One solid piece of fence. I'm not playing. It's got wrought iron in it. We found lumber out here once we got this cleaned up. All out here. Found a propane or butane tank. tons of cinder blocks. I've already hauled some over there. There's lots of crap to clean up. This is all the stuff we have to take to the landfill. So I have been sorting it with household trash, clothes, plastic, and then we got our metal items over there. So we're going to try to get as much of that as possible. Now, I had a lot of questions. A lot of people don't understand how come Joey and I won't stay in the barn or put an RV or something in here. So, see that above my head? Because structurally, up here at the front is really, really bad, but back here is great. Now, we do have a solid concrete platform that goes all the way to that side. So I think what we're going to do is put, you know, maybe 1 or 2 goats down this way, and we'll put 3 of our dogs out that way. And that's just for them to be in at night because we have 6 rescues altogether. And with us going from a way bigger home down to 640 square feet, yeah. And then over in this section, what I'll do is I'll end up building stalls, 6 of them for chicken. That will be their nesting and roosting area, right? And then right out here, Joey and I are actually going to remove a lot of this tin and place it sideways, right, on the upper portions. But the lower portions will be open because this is where I will build chicken runs. And we'll probably come all the way out to about right here on chicken runs. So give the babies a good amount of space. One other thing we're going to do, I hate that we don't have the other 2 acres, y'all, because that old cabin there used to be on the other 2 acres, which is across the creek. But anyways, on this side, I'll end up doing a lot of gardening just for the chickens and the livestock. So think of wheat, barley, rye, all different things out this way. And then check this. Look at all that fencing. Now, I know a lot of it's probably not worth a flip, but we got some that is. When we come back next, we'll finish cleaning that out. And this, and then you see how close the creek comes, right? To the barn. See that? So when she gets up and raging, I do want some kind of, I don't know, some kind of route for us to release the animals to get away from water. Does that make sense? We have this tree to take out eventually. She is grown into the barn. All of the wood on the bottom side back here needs to be repaired. But anyways, I had a lot of people ask why I wouldn't invest in a camper. Because I'm saving my money to invest in equipment. Do you see that? I can't find anybody to come push a hog. Now, I did get a few numbers for some locals that I haven't had a chance to call yet, so I'm going to get a hold of them. But as far as companies go in Arkansas, where'd he go?
He flew off.
No, he didn't. He was on the tree. Where'd Finn go?
Look at Finn sitting off in the corner.
Finn, come on, man. All right. Knees, not your back.
1,
2, 3.
Oh!
Fudge. Mother fudge.
Well, to be fair, I looked at here, you looked at these 3.
You some bitch.
I didn't mean to.
Is there any way to take her apart? Stop. Get on in. Ready? Joey and I decided to go check out the giant river cane for the very first time, and we were pretty shocked at how big some of these were.
Oh, that's an old tree, ain't it?
It's beautiful. Look. She's huge. Come on. These things are... Oh, I did? These things are huge. Look, this is our fence line. We poked around in the giant river cane for a while before we finally decided it was time for us to get to work, but not before I discovered some usnea. Not just a little bit of usnea. Like, this entire tree is covered in usnea. She's pretty dead, too. I'm going to have Joey, the tree expert, check her out. And if she's salvageable, I'm going to have him trim her up. If not, we're going to take her down, but not before I collect a massive amount. So this is what I took away today. I will be back for more, and I'll also try to do a video here soon on tinctures for it. While we poked around in the barn, I did find a few items worth keeping, which were glass and few stainless steel bowls that looked like they were used for pets, possibly. I did find a complete Pioneer Woman set, like a plate, a bowl, and a sauce. It was like a saucer. I'll have to show that later. Honestly, I got too busy and caught up with music and just us trying to get things together. Oh, I did find this thing on the outside in front of the barn, and surprisingly, it was all together in one piece. I think now that I'm watching this video back, I see some spots on top. It was chipped, but I don't know. Decoration. We got all of the clothes boxed back up and put to the side, a pile of metal going, and then the rest was basically household trash. We did find some barrels that were worth keeping, a stainless steel table, and a few wire cages. So I went back to camp and got the coffee percolating. This is that huge brush pile we've been working on, which is basically a little bit of that tree he cut down and just different limbs and sticks all over this property. This is me and Finn going to check on some of our progress so I could at least, feel good about my work that day. Because I forget that it's just 2 people doing this. It's not a whole crew of people or men. It's just me and him, and we're doing what we can with what we have. And now that I'm looking back on all of it and I feel the soreness of my body today, I really feel like we made an impact. We did a really good job, and we're going to take that load of furniture first to the landfill and then the household trash. Then we'll make a run to the scrap metal yard to see if we can get, a gallon's worth of gas of money for the little bit of metal objects we did find in there. After that, it was time to pack up the trailer and truck and head home, but not before capturing this beautiful sunset. And doesn't it seem like every time we head home, that's because we're heading west when we head home? And we're already planning the next trip because we can't wait to get the tiny home built.